Happy Monday, everyone! Today, we're going to kind of put a little bit of a pause on our testing strategies for multiple choice questions. And instead, we're going to kind of go over to a testing strategy for writing. Now, a lot of you guys filled out your form on Friday, which was awesome. That form helped me kind of understand what you guys know, what you don't know, and that will help drive the lessons that I'm going to teach in the future about which strategies you guys might need a little bit of a help with. So that will be, again, starting up a little bit later, but I wanted to take a step back so that you guys had some time to think about it, to kind of let it absorb, and all those really good things. So again, you guys took the testing strategies for that one. I noticed when I'm going back over our quizzes that there was a question that I let you make up your own title. And for that one, it said that if you'd put any answer, it said that it was wrong. So I went back and I fixed it so everyone got an extra point on that one. So that brought up a lot of people's grades. And that one was just how Google Forms sometimes works. So, again, I told you guys it would be national holidays. So, this is our holiday for today. It's actually I Am in Control of My Life Day. That one is really powerful to me. So this one, again, this has to do with what you say, what you do, how you make people feel. You are in control of that. So if you start with a positive attitude, like I always say, and you're very happy and you're helpful and you're just motivating people along the way, that actually can contribute to your life being really amazing and for you doing really awesome things. So I love that today is I Am in Control Day. I love that. So just take some time today to think about and just stop yourself and think, is this in my control? Do I have control over this? Or is this something totally out of my hands? And just think about that as you go on through the day and see, you'd be surprised to think how much you actually are in control of. So, today we are actually going to focus on a strategy that I personally love and I use still when I'm using my writing. In my daily writing or anytime I have to do reports or anything, I use this all the time and I find it's very helpful. And that is race. So, I know a couple of you guys are saying, oh, race again. Come on, I know this is bad, man. I know. But it is a really great thing to go back over. So to start out today is going to be more of like an introduction. So we're going to pretend like it's September. We're going to start about learning what race really is. This is a refresh for you, I know. But it is really a good thing to go back and talk about what each of these steps are. So when we talk about race, each of those letters, R-A-C-E, they stand for something. And this will be in the quiz a little bit later. So I want you guys to kind of take a second to think about this. And if you need to rewatch it, that's fine too. But we're going to just do a very quick introduction to what it is. So our R, as you can see, our R stands for restate. Now when I say restate, I mean we're going to reuse the words from the question. So if the question is, what is your favorite color? A restate wouldn't be purple. You wouldn't just start writing a sentence that said purple. That's not a sentence. So saying the word, what is your favorite color? My favorite color is purple. You're reusing the words. You're reusing exactly what they said, and you're going to use it to write your own answer. So our restate, and this is a lot of times where I noticed when I was watching you guys when we were doing our practice testing and everything, is that a lot of you tend to write a lot of great information. However, a lot of times we can condense, which means makes it smaller, condense our writing. So our restate is actually only going to be one sentence. Our restate is one sentence. That's it. Some of you guys are thinking, oh my gosh, I have to write 4 restate sentences. No, you write one. You write exactly one. And we'll talk about this. We'll give you a little test question in another video to kind of talk about what it should sound like, everything like that. So we'll kind of go more into this. We're just mostly talking about what each of these stand for along the way. So that brings us to answer. R-A, answer. So you're going to form an answer that kind of matches what they're asking for. So if they did say, what is your favorite color? Well, the answer is purple, but you have to use a restate with it. So my favorite color is purple. And purple is your answer, but you can't just write that one word. So the restate answer become one sentence. You can't have one without the other. Between the two, that is one sentence. So for example, another one would be, what is your favorite ice cream? Well, we know the answer would be, say what you will, say cookie dough, right? That's your answer. But I can't just plug that in. I need to restate what they're saying so they know what I'm talking about. Because if I was just handed a paper that said cookie dough, I would have no idea what you were talking about. Maybe I could assume that it was about ice cream, but I wouldn't know. Maybe it's a recipe about cookie dough. Who knows? So, the restate part is, my favorite ice cream is cookie dough. That's your answer. So between restate and answer, it's one sentence. All. Restate and answer is one sentence together. You don't have to do a sentence for a restate, and you don't have to do a separate one for answer. It's just one sentence. That one can be a little tricky, but it's restate and answer, one sentence. Now, the C. Oh, I'm sorry, this is combining the state. This is just saying you gotta put in one. Now, C. C stands for citation, or citing your evidence. This is one that I notice a lot of you guys, which is really great. You look at the anchor chart in the classroom when you get stuck on this one. And this is also one that we're going to spend a lot of time on because it's very important, but it also can be a little bit tricky. So C, citation, is when you go back in the text to find the answer. If you're using someone else's words, you need to make sure you're using quotes. When you use them, say it one more time. When you're using someone else's words, use quotes, quotation marks. So important. You want to make sure you're saying that this is not my writing. I'm using the author's text, right? So a lot of times, for this one, you have to go back in the text. And this is where, again, snot, like we talked about in the other videos, come in. Because if you're snotting and you're underlining important parts of the text, you can use those as your evidence. So, for example, if you go back in the text and it says, if we're talking about cookie dough still, cookie dough ice cream, and we go back and in the text it says somewhere, cookie dough has more sugar than any other ice cream. There you go. Now, most of the time, you're going to be reading stories that don't really have an opinion. The author will have some different things that they're going to say, and you will agree with the author, you won't agree. You have to pull those out, but oftentimes you're going to go back and you're going to find different sentences that have to do with what you're writing about. So we're going to, again, talk about that a little later because I'm going to spend the most time on the C because this is, again, very important. Now, I noticed a couple of people in my class also were writing, and I did notice this too in Miss Barker's class, Miss Holgate's class, everyone's class, is that they wrote on the top of your page, you guys are getting really used to that, you wrote race at the top of your page. However, some of you guys wrote RACCE. And I'll tell you why. Because you need two sentences. That means you need two pieces of evidence. Two. So you got to have one piece from the text, two pieces from the text. So when you're writing an RACCE, that's just a way for them to remember when you're checking it off that you need two sentences, that you need to fill out two different pieces of evidence in order for that to be counted correct. Now, again, you need to make sure you're going back in the text and you'll say things like, and this is, again, we're going to talk about this using our phrases like, in the text it says, or the author says. Those kind of things are how we introduce our quotations into our writing. So again, this is two sentences. C has to be two sentences. Okay, and our last one. Our last one is one that can be very tricky if you let it. And I know a lot of my friends out there, they're saying, okay, wait, this one's really hard for me, and I totally understand why this one would be a little difficult, but we're going to talk about this one as well. So we're going to kind of take the panic out of the explain part. But I love that we guys at this point have RAC. We've almost got that down pat. We almost know exactly how to do that, and your writing has come so far. I'm so proud of all of you guys. I've read so many different race responses, and they're getting so good. So we're going to focus on explain as well. Now, explain. This is where you use phrases like, this shows that, or this means that, and you're explaining why you chose the quotes you did. So if I chose a quote like, cookie dough has more sugar than other ice cream, I would say then in my explain at the very bottom, this shows that cookie dough is the best flavor. That's all you're doing. That's all you're doing is showing your examples. It's just saying, why did I choose that? Why does that quote have anything to do with what my answer is? That's all it is. And our explain only has to be one sentence. Our explain is only one sentence, guys. So in total, let's add it up. I want you guys to think about this. In total, we have one sentence between these two. So that's 1 plus 2 plus 1. 4. You only need to have 4 sentences to have a race response. Only 4. Some of you guys I've seen write like 12. You only need 4 sentences to have your race response match every single bit of what we want. And again, we're going to go over this. So I know if you're saying, wow, this is a lot, this is really fast, that's fine. We're going to kind of break it down every day into different parts of race. Again, the C is going to be split up into 2 different days so that it's not so crazy just for one day's video. Again, I want you guys to see you on your quizzes. Just show me what you know. I'm not really looking at the grade as much for this one. I just want to see what you guys can remember from the video, maybe remember from the beginning of the year, throughout the whole year. So this is just an introduction. This is mostly to help you. This is exactly what I want you to see, is this, you guys really putting in that effort and just trying it and going back and just really putting in your best work. So I know you guys are going to do great on this quiz, and I can't wait to see you guys tomorrow to start talking about what the R in race stands for. So I hope you guys have a great night, and I'll see you tomorrow.